Welcome back to the press. If you're just joining us, trust me, you've not missed a lot. Well, my name is still Mercy Babajide, and of course, we're still reaching you from the nation's capital. And today with us in the studio is Mr. Richard Oriri, a journalist, of course, to analyze most of the headlines today for the newspaper. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Richard.
It's nice to have you.
Nice to have you, sir. Well, I'll start with the biggest story, of course, and peculiar story in all of the newspaper this morning, which is NNPP flips Kano, PDP takes Plateau, APC wins Benue. And then there's been a lot of inconclusive election. Then INEC suspends collation of results in Agbi, Enugu. We'd like to take your general overview on what has happened, of course, over the weekend in Nigeria election.
Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, my colleagues and
good morning, welcome.
The general happenings across Nigeria truly shows that the masses have taken government by themselves. They have taken everything to themselves. And if you look at what has happened, especially in Benue State, you will see clearly that the abysmal performance of the outgoing governor made it possible for the APC to take over Benue State today. Okay. If you look clearly, the margin of votes, the margin of winning between the APC and the PDP is over 35,000 votes. Over 35,000 votes against the PDP governorship candidate, Uba. You know, the Benue people have been crying all this while of non-payment of salary. Okay. Pensioners are dying, pensioners are dying, and pensions are not being paid by the governor. No infrastructure across any local government in Benue State. The 23 local government in Benue State, there is no local government you go to that you see one single infrastructure. Either a project started and executed and completed by the executive governor of Benue State, the outgoing governor, Governor Tom. So that again contributed a lot to the massive support of the Benue people on the APC candidate, who is, and again, religion played vital role in Benue election. He is a reverend father, and he has performed so well when he started his stewardship in the church. So, and coming out to say, I want to lead the Benue people, majority, especially the youth. He started his stewardship from a Catholic church very close to Benue State University, and most of the people that have graduated from that university today, some of them, they are still within the state. So they know who he is, and they know his antecedents. They know that he will do well if given the opportunity to lead the state.
Well, you've used Benue State as a study here for to show the willingness of the youth or Nigerians to have taken the change for the country into their hands. But then let's take the study of Lagos State, for instance, where it is believed that the government and the governor in person of Sanwo-Olu had not really performed well in the past, but then he has still reclaimed that position.
Yes, Lagos State issue is a peculiar issue. If you see clearly the presidential election, the Labour Party won Lagos State. And now the father of Lagos State politics today, which is the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is now the president-elect of Nigeria. And most of the stakeholders that even worked against their party, because most of the things that happen across Nigeria, even internal party crisis, it causes a lot of havoc within the parties. So in Lagos, most people who even worked against APC in Lagos in the presidential election, now they have seen that there's every reason for them to join the bandwagon. And this bandwagon effect has really changed the situation of Lagos vote in the just concluded state assembly and the governorship election in Lagos State. You see, like in my state, Benue State, for example, I contested the election too. I contested for State House of Assembly. I am the only minority party in the local government of my state constituency that contested and truly pulled my neck out to be a strong contestant in the election. What happened against me was that one, the party did not come to supporting me. I was alone, like a loner, and again like an independent candidate. And at the end, the PDP candidate polled about 3,000, 3,000 how many votes? Why me, the third person? I am the third in the on the line in the vote. I polled 2,228. Why the winner of the election? That is the APC candidate. Got about 7,000 plus. And that, what really happened was that from my zone, there are some individuals, stakeholders who want to be SSG in the state. There are some who wants to be finance commissioner or commissioner as well from my own zone. So in that regard, if I should be allowed to win the election, then their own space will be blocked. So majority of them came all out to working against me not to succeed.
Okay, please hold that while we quickly take this call. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling the press. Thank you.
You are on to SMD from Khan.
All right, please join in on the conversation.
Thank you very much, Missy. And I really appreciate this morning newspaper review. And thank you very much. Let me begin with Mr. Richard. Let me say, Mr. Richard, you are a hero. Congratulations. Because for you to participate in an election of Nigeria,
yes,
whether you win or you did not win, you are a hero. So believe in me, you have a brighter future and continue. Never mind about the minority or not supporting, getting support from the party. Do it to the best of your ability. One of these days, all this will become a history. We like people like you, so keep moving. And then secondly, let me appreciate the minority parties. For instance, look at Kano State. The story has changed. You will imagine how come an NPP that just emerged, even though NPP was there long ago, but with the invention of the Concordia and so many other challenges, but look at it today, NPP win Kano State. My worry is the voter apathy, which I'm always complaining since 1999. 1999, we get it right. Almost 57% of the participants. Fine, agree. 2003, it's just a little bit addition, which is almost about 58%. Ever since 2003 up to date, we're experiencing voter apathy. Nobody cares to know what is the cause. How can we mitigate or alleviate that voter apathy? When you come and compare and contrast the kind of the accredited voters, for instance, you imagine what is going on. In the 2019 election, you have almost 82 million or 84 million or thereabouts. And now this 2023 election, you have almost about 93 voters. 93 million. But if you do the comparative analysis of the vote casted, vote, all this and that, you will see what is going on. Where is the voters' education unit? Where is the National Orientation Agency? Where is the National Television Authority? Where is the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria? Where is the Voice of Nigeria? Where is the News Agency of Nigeria? These are the government agencies that they were to promote the government policy, to educate Nigerians on the good policy and so on and so forth. Where are they?
All right, thank you.
Now, back to the political actors.
We want you to wrap up. We want you to wrap up, please.
Yeah, sorry, please, let me round up. The political actors are not doing pretty well. Believe in me, because you will imagine the INEC, the electoral law makes everything clear. The menace we are experiencing is the human factor. So what is wrong with our political actors? They need to be transformed. That's why the electorate needs to be transformed.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. I'd like to talk about what he said on voter apathy. Before the show started properly, myself and Victoria had an argument about voter apathy and low turnout of voters, especially for the governorship elections. And then we made mention of, a lot of persons have said their votes probably didn't count for the first election. That is why there was low turnout for the second election. Do you think that's the same? Do you agree with that policy?
What actually happened was that, like in some states, there was serious rain on the night before the day of the election. Especially in Benue State, we are agrarian states. And the moment the rain falls, I got that hint that there was going to be a serious low turnout, especially in Benue State, because most people who are farmers, they find they have love in going to their farm than going to queue and vote for anybody, because they've not benefited in the past. They've not
that's for states, yes. That's for states that love farming. We have cases of Jos, Nasarawa.
Then another point again is that if you look at the report of the EU, the European Union, they truly healed on INEC by the fact that they said INEC manipulated majorly the National Assembly and the presidential election, because there are some issues of transmission of results of a polling unit to the central server, which was not done. INEC relied majorly on the hard copy register, because INEC have two registers separately. One, the electronic register, the second one is the hard copy register. So the manipulation came from the electronic register, which after the accreditation, INEC ought to have transmitted that registration done at the polling unit to the central server, which was not done. They now later relied on the hard copy register in computing and collating all the results and announced the presidential result based on the hard copy information available to them. So the electronic registration was nobody knew what INEC did with it along the line. Then later they said they have uploaded it into the server. But that again gave a lot of discouragement to Nigerians, and most people in the the presidential election basically was based on religion, religion, and majority like this state assembly election and the governorship election that just took place on Saturday. What I observed there is a kind of religious issue, religion and ethnicity played major role in the just concluded election. If you look at the result of the governorship election from Delta State, you see clearly that ethnicity played major role in Delta. The incumbent deputy senate president lost out to the PDP governorship candidate, who is from the Robo area, the Robo zone. So you will see going again to a place like Kano, religion played major role, and the Kwankwasia arrangement too played another singular role. Like what the caller just said, Kwankwaso today is another Buhari emerging in the north. If you look at the time Kwankwaso joined the ring to be president of Nigeria, said I'm contesting, and he went to pick a minor party called NNPP, New Nigerian People's Party. Nobody knew that Kwankwaso would pull this type of support that he has amassed today, that he has gathered today.
Maybe because of his antecedents in the state.
Because of his antecedents, and he knew the grassroots politics. He belonged to the how do they call it? This the Almajiri group. We went to how they call it something. I've forgotten how they call them. It belonged to that Almajiri group, and if you look at the voters in Kano State, you see majorly they are youth. Majority of them, they are not even educated, and you see that they love the Kwankwaso because the Kwankwaso dwell so much on here. If you come to Abuja, in his campaign in Abuja, he go through the these Kekena Pep riders.
Okay, let's quickly take this call, sir. When you hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Chief Arel from Kaduna.
Okay, all right. Please join in on the conversation in 60
I
seconds.
was listening to the American analyst, Mr. Richard.
Okay.
And the two beautiful ladies over there.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, you are welcome.
Yes, sir.
You see, he was talking about ethnicity and tribalism in Nigerian politics.
Okay.
You see, the question is that if we don't kill tribalism in Nigeria, tribalism will kill us in Nigeria. Let me make a particular reference to Lagos State. Look at what happened in Lagos during that election. You see, in my own opinion, there was a poisonous propaganda from Lagos, which is very dangerous for this country. There was an insinuation that the Igbos wanted to take over Lagos. That was the dummy. That was the dummy that the politicians in Lagos sold to the Yorubas in Lagos. And it's very dangerous. It is not peculiar to Lagos alone. It is all over the country. And if care is not taken, it is going to damage our country. Can you imagine the Oba of Lagos some time ago saying that he was going to throw the Igbos into the lagoon in Lagos? The same country. We should not be talking about ethnicity. We should be talking about citizenship, not ethnicity, but citizenship. But in Nigeria, we are talking about ethnicity. Then let me go over to the result of the election. You see, our problem in Nigeria is about collation. Look at what happened in Kaduna for this governorship election. I listened to one of these radio stations whereby they were giving results on each local government, and they gave us all the results of the local government. The only thing remaining is for you to take your calculator and add it up, and you know the winner. At the end of the day, when the result came, it came in the opposite way. And if we are not taking, if we don't take care, that one may inflame this country. It is not fair for democracy. And the problem of Nigeria, like I said, is on the collation. When we said that at least every local government has its own result, why should collation be another problem for this country? It's a question of adding it up and you get the winner.
Right,
but in the Nigerian context, it's not like that. God bless your station. God bless Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, Mr. Richard. One question, like myself and Mercy were saying earlier, and I told her that there were some questions I really want to ask. And, well, because it came to my mind was, why do we have a situation where it is glaring that this thing is happening and then nothing is being done about it? Now, you take instance of Lagos State, where we had MC Olumo came out to say to make the statement he made, and when you heard the police being asked what is going to be done about it, they say we should take it as a joke, and it had an impact on the electorate at that time. A statement of Igbo, was it, if you're not Yoruba,
don't come out to
vote.
Don't
come out to vote. And we saw a lot of Nigerians who had not come out to vote because of that same statement. And youth took it on themselves. Some Yoruba youth, I don't know, perhaps maybe some Nigerians took it on themselves and said, if you are not Yoruba, do not come out and vote.
Some actually even came out. And then they were pinpointed because we read some tweets on Saturday and they kept saying, oh, you do not look like a Yoruba person.
Yes. We
have a tweet from one CC Yemi on the election day itself, and she said she got to the polling unit and the first thing they told her was, oh, you don't look like a Yoruba person.
And we saw examples of people that were beaten in their polling units that they should not vote. Could it be a sort of collusion between INEC? Because we have a EU Observer report saying that politicians and INEC would have contributed to the votes buying and the violence we saw on the election day. Is this really it?
Yes, the issue of ethnicity and religion in this country has really done us a very bad thing. Okay. Like the caller from Kaduna said, my friend Aremu, yes, if we don't kill ethnicity in Nigerian politics, it will kill us. And if you look at what is happening generally, you see that ethnicity has really gone so deep into the fabric of Nigerian democracy, and it's very bad for us. Going to Lagos, I will take the blame basically to failure of the system. If we have a strong system that works for the people, I don't think such statement will be taken for granted, especially from the angle of the DSSS. Yes. If somebody come out openly to threaten you because of the religion or the ethnicity you belong to, at least government should take serious action about it. Because if the person choose to retaliate, maybe it will result to ethnic crisis in the country. And those are things the DSS, the Directorate of State Security, ought to come out openly to do and defending the sanctity and the integrity and the unity of this country. But they always overlook such things, and the continuation of that will not be very positive to us as a nation. And again, if you look at it from what happened in Ebonyi State, the governorship candidate of APC is from the EZ extraction, and the governorship candidate of the PDP is from they call it the Northern Bloc or something like that. From Ikorazis, is from the same bloc with the outgoing governor, there's David Umahi. And the EZs, they have the majority of they have majority population in Ebonyi State. And from the inception of Ebonyi State as a state, the creation in 1996 by head of state of Nigeria, that is Sani Abacha, a Z person, Z citizen, a Z man, had never been governor of Ebonyi State. So this one became an opportunity for the Zs to have at least this slot for once and become governor of Ebonyi State. That really played vital role in what happened in Ebonyi election. And that is, you can't take that away from ethnicity. You can't take it away from ethnic.
If you're talking about ethnicity, you know there is something they say about zoning. You know they don't just zone for presidential elections; they zone equally for states. Because take for instance for Ondo State, we've had Governor Olusegun Mimiko, then we've had Makeredolu, and then for Ondo State rather, you see people moving from you are from Ondo, that's the Ondo town, and then you are from Owo, that's Owo town. So could it be said that it's the same thing that actually happened in Ebonyi? But at the end of the day, they didn't stop non-indigens of Ebonyi not to vote. But in Lagos State, they were saying they outrightly came out, because we even saw videos of thugs. There were loads of election violence there. And then they came out to say, oh, if you are not Igbo, you cannot have access.
Let's not forget that there's a kind of a controversy going out there that the Igbo were trying to say Lagos is a no man's land. But Lagos really a no man's land.
Lagos is a no man's land. Lagos initially was the capital of Nigeria. Then Abuja too. If you look at what happened in Abuja, the only indigene that have been given confidence to the indigenes of Abuja. That
so are you saying now that Lagos is a no man's land?
Lagos is for everybody. Home for all. Home for all. Home for all.
Why is that so?
It should be for everybody. It should be for everybody. Was it not 1991 that the federal capital was moved from Lagos to Abuja here? And from
even at that, we have Abuja as a capital. We can't say Abuja.
But the most important thing is that as a citizen of this country, you have the right to live and carry out your business everywhere, in any part of the country.
But we
without humiliation. Without any form of humiliation or suppression. That is why I said it's the failure of the type of governance structure that we have in this country.
Okay, let's quickly take this call, sir. Good morning. Thank you for calling the press.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yes, I'm the same person, Akim, calling from Lagos.
Okay. Please join in on the conversation in 60 seconds.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me make some impressions here. First of all, let me go for the second one before the first one.
Okay.
Lagos has honor. So we should stop that thinking that Lagos is no man's land. This is actually what is making the provocation. Okay? I cannot say I go to Benue and say Benue is everybody's land. No. Even in Enugu, you can't say that. So let's get this at our head. Okay, so that we won't be provoking people or understand unnecessarily. And my Igbo friends also, they should understand. You know, sometimes, I know it's their nature. They can't just hide it. But they should understand we are not all the same, and we are the same at the same time. If you get me, okay?
Okay.
Play, if you are in Rome, try to play like Romans, okay? That is just the wisdom. If they know, they should know. That's that aspect.
Okay.
Then, issue of MC Oluomo, I want to make a clarification here. Journalism, there is what we call a journalism investigation, okay? You people need to make a deep investigation. What MC Oluomo did say, what police responded that it was a joke. Later on, I saw on a YouTube or Facebook, MC Oluomo and that Yasu Kudi that people are talking about back together, okay? MC Oluomo talk, and she herself talked that she's even happy now that she has become a celebrity that everybody even knows about her. MC Oluomo is somebody that they have been quite long with. That is how they joke, okay? So people, let me tell you, to allow politicians, they will use you.
All right, thank you for that. We'll go on this quick break, and when we return, the press continues, of course. Welcome back. We're still on the press, of course, from the nation's capital. And before we went on the break, we're talking about election violence, of course, in the past governorship election. And with me in the studio is still Mr. Richard Oriri. And before we went on the break, there was a caller that made mention of poisonous propaganda that happened for the Lagos state election. We'd like to hear your take on this.
Yes. The propaganda was on the basis of indigene and non-indigene in Lagos State.
Yes.
And I will not put the blame on the indigenes of Lagos State, because if you look at it very critically, even if you are to be given employment, if they give you the form, what you see is state of origin.
Yes.
That shows clearly that you must belong to certain states before you are qualified for even employment. And if you look at our constitution talk about a catchment area, constitution talk about state of origin too. So until we insert into the constitution by scrapping anything that has to do with state of origin, that will now take us back to the fact that wherever you live, that is your home. In Abuja here now, the woman that have won the senatorial election, Ireti, she is not from Abuja, and she is now the senator representing Abuja people. So that should apply to almost every part of the country. If, let's say, I live in Kano State, let's say for 15 years, according to what the constitution said, I should be given the right and privileges as a citizen in that state. And if I have the opportunity to contest election, they should vote for me as an indigene and as a citizen of that particular state, and not as a non-indigene. So what is happening in Lagos, I think the real owners of Lagos State want to take ownership of their state. And if you look at Lagos very critically, not just in Lagos, almost all part of the country. If you go to Jos now today, you take the Igbos own Jos. Almost all the infrastructures in Jos, Igbos are contributing a lot to Nigerian development
I feel
in terms
like
of infrastructure and every
so tribe actually contributes to the development.
Every tribe can contribute, but economically, Igbos, they are doing quite well in Nigeria.
Okay, then let's take this call then.
The continuous marginalization and suppression of the Igbos across Nigeria, I don't think is good for us as a nation.
Okay, sir. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling the press. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, please, your name and where you're calling
from. Benin State.
All right, sir.
Of the local government in Tapaito.
Okay, please join in on the conversation.
I want to react to the first that last comment from Lagos.
Okay, sir.
If the Lagos was continued being in the capital of Nigeria, can we say that the Lagos belongs to Yoruba? If Nigeria being the capital of this country, you will say that the Lagos belongs to Yoruba alone? These are the people that destroyed this country with their statement. Lagos was being the capital, everybody was there. It's now a free state. Yoruba cannot claim Yoruba, Igbo cannot claim it's belongs for the whole Nigeria. If they say that it belongs to Yoruba, let them move the thing and bind us together in Lagos, move it out. Let them move it to Lagos. Let's see what belongs to Lagos. So what I'm trying to say, so what the election was doing on Saturday in Lagos State is very bad. What the talk has been doing, even the police have sabotaged the whole thing. Police have collapsed, all the security, they just leave all the talk. They are just pushing other people away that if you can go to busy, read this unit, you cannot go to busy, they just chase people out. They even call them with cutlass, which is, and now this one come out and saying that that's a good way. It's not done in every way. If the people like, let them vote APC, if the people let them vote the person they like to govern the state. Now, the Igbo, after the general election, see how the district burning the Igbo property. The millions of dollars are burning them, put the people to the problem. And nothing has happened till now. And who want to, if they want Nigeria to separate, let them separate, let everybody find his way. If that one Yoruba like, it has the most cause the problem.
So I would like you to tone down your... Please tone down. All right, okay, thank you very much. Let's take one more call. All right. Let's take one more call before we go on. Okay, all right, we lost that call. He made mention of what is binding people in Lagos. Of course, Lagos is said to be the highest tax-paying state in Nigeria. My question, what do you think is binding people in Lagos actually?
What is binding people in Lagos basically is business.
Okay.
And 70 to 80% of the people in Lagos, they are business people.
Okay.
And why Lagos generate more internally generated revenue is because of the number of companies that operates in Lagos.
Yeah.
If you go to River State too, you see the same thing. If you go to Kano, you see the same thing. Anywhere there you see production, there must be revenue generation in that state. So, and Lagos, Igbo people, they are business oriented.
Yes.
And for the fact that Lagos is if you see, the only port authority that import and export take place is in Lagos.
Yes.
Until they decentralize it, you will see before the population of Lagos will reduce. If they decentralize it by possibly opening up ports like in Cross River, in other part of the country, even in Onitsha too, you will see that the congestion in Lagos will be reduced. The too much population in Lagos will drastically reduce immediately. Igbos like where their business will flourish. And Lagos is one point. They are majorly importers. And most of their goods will come to Lagos before they will now pick them from Lagos to send to different parts of the country. That is why you see Igbos having interest in Lagos so much. So until we decongest our port authority in Lagos, I don't think that population will reduce. And again, coming to the issue of ethnicity and not this citizenship, indigenous and non-indigenous in the country, the incoming legislators, the incoming National Assembly, they'll have to do something very serious about it. Because until we scrap this issue of origin, where are you from? Which state are you from? Which local government are you from? What tribe are you? All these contribute to the problem we are having currently in terms of indigenous and non-indigenous. Even in my local government, we have 157 poly units in my local government. The Igbo-speaking tribe have 61 poly units out of 157. 61. The Zaz have 40. The Ziz have 21. Until tomorrow, the people within the local government that is the true ownership of the local government, the Doma speaking people, they will still lay claim to the local government as our own local government, and then referring to the Igbo speaking tribe as non-indigenous, which they are not taking for granted. They are not happy with it at all. It's not just in my local government. The same thing happening in Lagos now. If you go to Jos, it's happening the same way. Almost all part of the country. This issue of indigenous and non-indigenous will definitely cause us very serious problem in future if we don't correct it now. And I am putting this as a challenge to the incoming National Assembly to do something about it by scrapping what they call origin, state of origin, from anything that will have to do with possibly employment or anything across Nigeria.
And it's not even just employment. You've seen people that were
even in election contest.
Election contest.
If you are not from a state, they will not allow you to even contest as governor.
You would agree with that even getting admission into certain schools
is a problem. So it's a very serious issue. We have to correct it as we are going to face serious challenge.
Okay, all right. Let's quickly take this call. Good morning, Elder Zion. Good morning. Please join in on the conversation in 60 seconds, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Please join in on the conversation.
Good morning, Mercy.
Good morning, Elder Zion. Please join in on the conversation. All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'm my brother, Oriri. God bless all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, Elder Zion. Please join in on the conversation. We can hear you.
You see, what we're talking about Lagos.
Okay.
It's wrong.
We can hear you.
Okay. What we're talking about Lagos.
Yes, sir.
Really, before, Lagos was a free colony. It was not part of Western region.
Okay.
It was administered separately from the colonial office in London.
Okay.
It was under the Republican region of Nigeria that was ceded to be part of Western region. But that notwithstanding, the Constitution of Nigeria supersedes any other law that will be produced locally.
Okay.
Igbos, according to the analysis,
Yeah.
I was part of Lagos when Lagos was a slum. Most of these structures today in Lagos State was made by Igbos. The economy, Lagos Port Authority, were those bringing money into it, and not the Igbos. But that notwithstanding, the way Igbos were treated in Lagos during the presidential election is not good. And before I drop this comment, I'm pleading with authorities
Okay, sir.
that MC Olomo should be arrested. Mayo Onaruga should be arrested
I'll desire
and prosecuted.
Okay.
Excuse me 1 minute. 1 second. 1 second.
All right.
They should be prosecuted. If not, it will not go well with Igbo people. May God bless Nigeria.
Amen.
May God give us peace.
All
May
right.
God give us stability. In Jesus' name.
All right. Thank you very much, El Desire, for that call. You said a lot actually. So I'd like you to just drop your own comments on his last words.
Yes, Igbos needs to be talked to.
Okay.
They have to apologize to Igbos
Okay.
because the issue of marginalization on the Igbos is becoming too much. They are Nigerians,
Okay.
and just as I said earlier, if you push even a toothless bulldog to the wall so much, the dog will definitely develop teeth by force. And anything we see that will cause us crisis in this country, we should try to avoid it. Certain statement that we make as stakeholders and as statesmen is not good at all.
Okay.
Once you know that this statement I'm going to drop will cause serious confusion in the system, don't drop it.
Don't drop it.
Some people drop statements so crudely without refining them, and it's not very good for us. If Igbos come out to resisting what they are saying now, it will lead to another civil war. And we don't at all want such to happen again in Nigeria.
Okay.
So if Igbos can be apologized, I will like it for the Yorubas in Lagos to tender passionate apology to the Igbos so that the tension will down and every part of the country will see ourselves as one indivisible entity and as one citizens in the country doing this. Igbos in business, they are doing their best to ensure that Nigeria maintain its image as a strong nation. And the same thing, other Yorubas, Idoma, Robo, and other people contributing their quotas to making Nigeria a strong and united country. So no one should be marginalized and suppressed.
Okay, all right. Yes. Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning. Thank you for calling the press.
Good morning.
Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, my name is Shegun. I'm Shegun. I'm calling from Lagos.
Okay, all right. Please join in on the conversation in 60 seconds.
Is that?
Your TV is on. Please, can you reduce the volume of your television?
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Shegun.
Yeah.
Please reduce the volume of your television set or you move away from it.
Okay, that's all right. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please join in on the conversation.
Okay, well done there.
All right, thank you.
I like the way the man there is speaking. In fact, he has been speaking my mind to some large extent.
Okay.
But the fact remains that in this country, if we look at the first election that was held on the 25th of February,
okay,
it shows a lot of things. And the politicians actually capitalize on it, which is, we can't blame them. Check the way the Igbos voted. Now, let us even start from the east. Check the number of the Igbo people that voted for the Asiwaju. You find that it's just like in the hundreds. But check across the Yoruba land. You find out that the Yoruba voted for Obi in thousands. Even where it's not picking high votes, you see them only 30,000 plus across the Yoruba land. But when it comes to the issue of they belong to this particular, let us vote a man for our own person. These ethnicity things have been the part of Igbos. Let's be realistic here.
So I believe they should think well over it. Everywhere the Yoruba people used to go, the Igbo always go against them. And we call ourselves Southerners. And the Northerners never do that. Go and check their track records. They always fall in line. But here in the southern part, the divide line is always there. So please, let us know how we relate to ourselves here. Because I happen to be a Yoruba guy. I have most Igbos as my friends. And I've seen them. Even one of them got with me. Please. He's now, he has made it now. Even when he was with me, when he's visiting among the Igbo guys, I know the way they used to talk to me, directly or indirectly, as if there is some enmity. And the Yoruba are so hospitalized, whether we like it or not. And if we now see that if they are taking us for granted because we are hospitalized in nature, all these things will happen.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank
and
you.
have a nice.
Yeah, you too, sir. All right, I'd like to force to move away from the election matters now down to JAMB sets new guidelines as it resumes registration for direct entry. And the main cause of them actually putting the JAMB direct entry registration on hold was because some candidates were using fake A-level results to secure admission. And there's been a lot of back and forth about fake results in Nigeria. You even saw a case of Peter Umba of Enugu, that's a PDP presidential governorship candidate, I beg your pardon, that said some parties came out to say his NYSC certificate was fake. Do you think there's anything that could be done to curb fake certificates in Nigeria? Or has Nigeria not gotten to the point where we should have even stepped out of people forging certificates, whether A-level or NYSC or any certificate at all at this point?
My sister, that is something very difficult to do because even as human beings, we have too many fake human beings. So if we cannot correct that, how can you correct just ordinary paper that inside your room? You can manipulate the system and it gives you what you want. So the most important thing is that once such persons are caught, the law should take its course. If 1, 2, 3 are penalized, seriously dealt with, others, it will deter others not to delve into such acts. So the best thing is for the law to take its course once such incident is unraveled.
Okay, but before even the law takes its course, let's take us back to, is there anything where you can easily cross-check? I mean, the world has gone digital right now. There should be, myself and Sandra on Saturday, we had arguments about, some people voted and then some people couldn't come back home because they couldn't vote. Of course, probably they had issues with visa and all of this. But then as the world has gotten digital right now, don't you think the world should move forward to a place where there should be easy access to all of these things? I mean, we're looking forward to when we'll be able to vote online in Nigeria, just thumbprint and then you vote from the comfort of your home and then anywhere. Don't you think we should actually be looking forward to this?
The easiest way to do that is to go through electronics accreditation of NYSC in the camp.
Okay.
When I went for my service in Ondo State, that was in 2009, March 3rd, 2009, our certificate was screened by NYSC's officials. As you are going in, they will screen you. If there will be an electronic gadget that they will run your certificate through, and as they run the certificate through, the university where you finish from will appear. If that can be done, then I think it will reduce this issue of forged certificates drastically. And again, during either employment or maybe this election contest, if you are going to submit your certificate to either INEC or your party, there should be a gadget that can dictate fake certificates. And once that is in place, anyone coming with fake results will definitely not try it, because as you are going, possibly during the time of that screening, SSS will be there, police will be there, all the security personnel, they will be there during the screening. And once you are caught, you will be dealt with. And if such a thing is in place, I think definitely Nigerians will share away from such.
Okay, now moving on to finally in the Nigerian Tribune, of course, Naira's scarcity persists as currency in circulation dropped to 982.09 billion naira in February 2023. And of course, it's still going to take us back to the election that we just concluded. Do you think the federal government was able to curb vote buying for these elections?
Vote buying took place very seriously. like this election that I went in as a candidate,
okay.
on the 18th.
Okay.
You see, dollars was used, but most people who have access to the dollar, they went again to the open market to buy naira. Even in the bank now, they trade in naira. They called me that if I have 3 million naira, I should come with 3.6 million naira. And that is for each 1 million naira, you are giving them 200,000 naira. Then they will give you cash. Not that the cash is not available in the bank. The ones taken to the bank before is still with them. Most banks have shifted the ones available with them to CBN. And most banks still have them in stock within their vicinity. But they are now using this opportunity of scarcity of naira to trading with these ones available with them. So if there will be penalty against any bank that indulge in such act, I think it will reduce the scarcity on the street. But until that is done, the scarcity will continue, because Nigerians, once we just find one small space to undo ourselves, we do it. If you go to markets now, you see artificial inflation. Most of the prices of food stuff in the market, they are artificial. The sellers, they are the ones inflating it. Not that anything at all has contributed to it. That's correct. Even the keke riders on their own, they will say fuel is very difficult for me to get fuel on their own personal. Not that they went for a meeting to arrive on a particular amount that they will be taking passengers from this point to this point. Individually, they increase the price on their own. And once price of anything goes up in this country, it will be very difficult to bring it down. So the same thing is happening now in the banking sector. Now there's scarcity of naira, and they are now using that means now to undo Nigerians. The ones available to them, instead of them bringing it out for others to make use of, they are selling it to the few privileged ones. While if you go to the various communities, like in my village now, 20 liters of palm oil, if you have cash, you can get it for 10,000 naira. But if you don't have cash, they sell for 15,000, 20,000 naira.
That's ridiculous.
If you have cash, a basin of gari, you can get it for 1,500 naira. If you have cash, they give you. If you have cash, so
there's even a price on bringing cash right now.
And if you don't have cash, they sell for 3,500, 4,000 naira. If you don't have cash, since you have to transfer,
that's ridiculous.
Because they are not even sure of the transfer, whether to get to their bank. But if you have cash, with 1,500, you get a basin of gari. Presently in my village. So now that would actually the same thing everywhere. If you go to various local market, if you have cash now, you go to local market, you are a billionaire, because what you are able to get from the local market, you take it to town, you make it a lot. So it's a lot. It's a challenge. It's a challenge, but that is a failure of the system. The system is seriously bad currently. Almost all the system. The banking sector is the one we are discussing now. If you talk about issue of statement that can cause crisis in the country, that is the Department of State Security Service. They are supposed to take charge of that. They are not doing their job. Buying and selling of a vote during election. Police who are before the voters or the polling unit level, they are supposed to take responsibility of that. They are not doing that because they fall under the executive. The law has been made by the legislators, and now the executive implements. Both INEC and the police, they are under the executive. They are to implement the law, but they are not implementing the law. Like in my place, we caught about 4 or 5 different fake European Union observers with fake tags. We caught them, handed them over to police. I have the video here on my phone. Handed them over to the police. Till tomorrow, you don't see anything being done against them. But they are criminals. And so, until the system change and the system stands to work for the masses, these issues that we are complaining, we will keep complaining.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Richard Oriri. It was really nice to have you with us on the press today. And that is where we draw the curtain for the press this morning. Of course, we continue tomorrow. Thank you for staying with us, viewers. My name is Babajide. See you tomorrow.